So the E-Space trilogy, I guess, comes to an end with Warrior's Gate, aptly named because it's the gateway out of there. Oh yeah, and E-Space is all green. I had forgotten about that. Anywho, so the TARDIS is trucking right along when they end up in this white void, which apparently was, I don't know, just a table. I mean, I understand it's the times and they didn't have all the great stuff, but boy, it seems like you could have done a better job of that. I mean, because at some point they depict the spaceship that's in this thing, and it's just a toy sitting on a table. I mean, it's casting a shadow on the wall, and it's, oh boy. And so a lot of it, yeah, well, they're walking around, and that's all, blue screened, I guess, what they had back then and all that. But and it's not entirely, because there's a bit of surrealism thrown into this one, because everything's messed up, because they're sort of, I don't know, I guess since they're at the gateway on the way out, they're sort of in between the realities of E-Space and the normal space, which is, because the real universe they're referred to as in space. Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's what it's supposed to be. And then there's some of the surrealism in which the story about these kitty cat people is unraveled, because apparently the kitty cat people are the Tharls. It sounded like they were saying the Thals, but that's the race of people who fought the Khalids, who eventually became the Daleks. But they weren't kitty cats. So you got these kitty cat people, but I guess they're time cats, because they're time sensitive, and they can apparently travel through time at will, I guess. But the thing is, they used to have this empire, and they would cross over, because they could come and go from E-Space into in-space anytime they wanted. And they abducted a bunch of human beings and made them slaves. But eventually the humans got tired of this crap, and so they built these robots out of what looked like, knight's armor, but with cool helmets that actually kind of looked like the helmets not the Silurians, the Sea Devils wore, And maybe it was, I don't know. But actually, it's too bad they didn't have enough of those, because they did kind of look cool. And so anyway, there's this ship, and they're now the Tharls, so the kitty cat people, they're being enslaved, and they're being used to navigate between these dimensions here. And this ship that's actually got a whole cargo hold of them is using them to get through, but they're stuck and they can't figure out how to get out. And there's these ruins there. That's all that's left of their old empire, I guess. But I guess it represents the point of departure for the gateway, which, according to the robot, there's three, but the three are one. And three gateways. Well, was that meaning there were the three gateways for time, like it's the past, the future, and the present? And perhaps, but they're just trying to get from one space to the other. It's not necessarily time travel. So, I don't know. But, so it's all, and that's where the surrealism comes in, because but the Doctor, they sort of separate off here, and the Doctor goes in there, and he ends up, there's this mirror that the kitty cat guy can walk through, but no one else can. But the Doctor can, and the Doctor's, how did I do that? And he explains, because earlier on, they came in contact with the time winds, because of the being brought into this white void area that the TARDIS came into, alongside that spaceship, which the kitty cats manipulated into. And so there they are. And so, because the Doctor's hand got damaged by that, and it damaged K9 to where he's all messed up, which will explain his departure. Unfortunately, this is the end for K9 for the most part. We will see him again here and there, but really this is the end of the K9 aspect of being a companion of the Doctor. And, of course, Romana, who is the one character who could have recurred several times over. You got villains who do. The Master, of course, can always come back for the, mostly the same reason. So Romana could have regenerated over and over. You could have any actress come in and play the role. but they just never did. You know, a big finish there. They continued her story. She eventually does return home and becomes lady president of Gallifrey and all that. But I don't know. So anyway, the kitty cats, they don't like being slaves anymore, even though they probably deserve it because that's how they treated the humans. So, you know, things kind of swapped over. But it's all cruel and stuff, and haven't they suffered enough? So and you get a demonstration of what they were in the past. And there's this sort of surrealistic shift between the times that they do, and that's pretty good. But yeah, the models in here, in some elements it kind of works, but for the most part, especially with the ship, it really doesn't. And it's unfortunate, but you know, it's what they had. So Romana, she's already making noises about she doesn't want to. She at the outset she didn't want to go back to Gallifrey because she didn't. It was a boring life. She wanted more adventure, and so she even talks to Adric about, you know, I might just want to go off on my own, you know, without the Doctor, you know. And so that's exactly what she does. She opts to stay behind. Oh, she's got to help the kitty cat people because they're held all over E-Space, and she's going to do them. And then the kitty cat guy says, we need a Time Lord. And you say, well, why? You guys can travel through time yourself. I don't know. But and then K9 just says, hey, you know what? I got all the specs for building a TARDIS, so I guess Romana will build her own. Although, according to the news show, you got to have a collapsed star in the center of it. Well, good luck with that. I don't know. And she'll figure it out somehow. That's how it ends there. So, you know, you're down to only 2 episodes. Oh, well, 2 episodes. I mean, 2 more adventures for the 4th Doctor. It's all coming to an end. And in keeping with it, the themes of decay and coming to an end, it's also you see the remnants and the decrepit nature of the old Thowrel, the kitty cat empire, and that sort of thing. And you have to assume that it's kind of hearkening to the ultimate end of this era of the Doctor. And so on and so forth. The rest of it is, of course, they do have this crew, and it's in keeping. There's a comedy duo there, and then of course the captain's an arrogant idiot, and ultimately seals his own doom, and despite the Doctor warning him and everything, and stuff like that. It's not that bad of an episode. It's rather strange and bizarre at times, which is fitting, and it goes to help it because of there wasn't a whole lot to it as far as locate. There was no location. It's all studio and everything. And the ship design is kind of interesting, but again, it's damn. There's this. That would be something if they ever redo it. That would be something to work on, to where it's just it is in that space, but it's like what is it? Because they're walking on something, you know. So, I guess there again, it's like, well, who's to say that you wouldn't cast shadows on this ginormous wall in this place beyond space and time or what have you? I don't know. But there's elements here that could have been revisited, of course, considering where Doctor Who is now. Just leave it alone because you just would ruin it. So, that's it for Romana. Who is a character they should have long since revisited by now. All kinds of possibilities with her character. But, they just won't do it. And didn't do it. And now I guess it's too late. And, of course, K9. Now, K9, he went on, ended up living with Sarah Jane. And I'm trying to remember. He might actually be a third K9 because the Doctor built her one and sent that to her. This will make up for me not being around anymore. I don't know. Because I never watched any of the Sarah Jane shows. I don't know anything about them. I didn't ever see the original one, which was K9 and Company, I believe, and that sort of thing. The K9 robot dog was a popular little character. But, outside of the Doctor, what's the interest? Would have been cool if they could have done a Time War series with Paul McGann, and then there's 2 K9s. There's the one he left with Leela, and the one that maybe Romana would have figured out a way for him to come back into normal space when she goes home. And so there's two, and they team up with him to go deal with the Daleks. Think of the possibilities, but, well, at this point, don't bother. Anyway, of course, things getting sad because coming to an end of the best Doctor there ever was. And had an episode that saw the end of K9 and Romana. There's Adric, of course, who's just sort of along for the ride. For now, anyway, but that's the way these things go. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.